talking like megabytes on the data that it's going to save. So if you had an 8 gig card, it's going to last you forever.
And there's no cellular connection. It doesn't update over Wi-Fi.
You can update it over Wi-Fi. You could update this over Wi-Fi through your Active Captain.
Right.
And you would have to be connected to this display with your device.
Got it.
I think because I got Wi-Fi cameras at my dock.
Yeah, you might have Wi-Fi down there.
Pretty sure I do.
At the dock.
Yeah.
Nice. You know, building block, the modern pyramid.
You
Got to have Wi-Fi.
You do have a cluster of analog gauges here that have some digital readouts, like for the speed, some engine data, like coolant temperature, and then you've got an analog depth gauge over here. All of this data is also available digitally on the chart plotter.
Okay.
Fuel level, water depth, water temperature, and all your pertinent information is going to be on these screens. To access some of that, it's underneath the vessel tab on the bottom.
Okay.
And now you'll get your choices here. You can look at any one of these, and if a page is to your liking that you want to leave up all the time, but it has one piece of information that you wish was something different, you can edit all of these pages and tailor them to how you want to look at it.
Great.
All you got to do is just choose on the page, just come over to option, and you can edit the page, or you could simply push and hold the piece of data you want to change and just replace it.
Great.
And by touching replace, this gives you all your options. Now, you don't have as many options as some of the other boats do, so you might choose something that you don't have a sensor for.
Okay.
You know, so if you choose something and you end up seeing like dashes, or it doesn't populate the data that you think it should, chances are you just don't have the sensor for that. Like, you're not going to see any wind direction or anything like that, because you don't have a PB500 antenna.
No radar.
Right. There's no radar, stuff like, you know. So you do have your limitations, but anything that's across the network, data-wise, is available here in a digital form if you want to set it up that way.
Nice.
What kind of SOS features are
What was that?
Go back. Yeah.
If you hit that, that's just going to take you right to, like, if you had to broadcast a man overboard, this will drop. If something fell in the water, you can tap that man overboard and it'll drop a pin right on the chart at that coordinate, and now you could navigate back to it and try to get to it, or that's what you need to be broadcasting to the Coast Guard.
You're at latitude and longitude. If you're out here sailing on the lake, it's going to be pretty easy to find you.
Now, since it's going to
at night.
I don't know if you necessarily need to, but you can register the boat and get an MMSI number, and then.
You mean Coast Guard?
Where's the handset?
It's a Coast Guard.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was a radio.
Where's the VHF radio? Does it not have one?
I'm looking for a number right now.
Might not.
Part of the options or no?
I don't know. It's just something that may have, you know, when I was looking through it, I may have just overlooked that.
Just ask them real quick.
They might not have one. No, there's a breaker for it.
Breaker, but I don't see an outlet for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
This guy.
I'm going to go over that with you. Those are the trim tabs.
Yeah, well, that the trim, the
Intercept
plate was broken.
I've
before.
changed it.
Great, thank you. I was just checking.
Are you familiar with trim tabs?
I'm actually not.
Okay.
So, could use a little primer on it.
VHF. Option or included on the boat or not included?
I don't see the antenna.
There's a handheld in the gear.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
That'll do.
Okay, then never mind what I was saying about your MMSI number, because if you had a mounted VHF radio, it would also broadcast an SOS, but you have to have an MMSI number input to the radio.
Right.
Your handheld.
On the lake, we're not using that.
Yeah.
And then you have to have, if we did have an antenna on this, a VHF on this boat, we'd have to have an antenna somewhere.
Right.
That's why there's an included.
Yeah.
And do you have any questions?
Just the trim tabs, really.
I'm gonna go over this at Wake
Yeah,
with you.
he can go over that stuff. They have a, you can put them into auto and they kind of do their thing.
They work well in auto, but I'm going to show you how to override it. This is
Okay.
a very intuitive system. It does what you think
Right.
you need to do. It's not buttons like the old days.
Right.
Go
Like,
for it.
okay. I was gonna ask, like, if we had somebody that was skiing, for instance, and they wanted a wake shaped for them,
Absolutely.
if it would do that.
That
yeah.
just buries it.
Right.
Now the last thing that you were, the last thing you wanted to see in here is the control of the stereo.
Yeah.
So from any screen here, like on this combo screen, I have the stereo put in the top corner.
Great.
From anywhere though, you would just come over to Vessel and scroll over to Media. Now it's just telling you the radio's turned off. In the Options tab here on the right, you have the power for it. We'll go ahead and turn him on.
Where's the head unit?
It's inside the cabin right next to the card reader.
Oh, cool.
Now it'll populate the radio for you. Volume control on the bottom here.
Do you know what brand these speakers are?
JL Audio, they're 6.5-inch JLs.
So good stuff
no,
already.
except no substitute.
Is there a sub somewhere? Just the 6 inchers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
all
you
right.
just have the 6.5s.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Good enough.
JLs are, you don't get any better. For the zones here, I believe this boat is just one zone. So these other ones, if you had multiple areas, you can add more speakers, more amplifiers, whatever you want to do, and control them all individually.
Sure.
And then the sources will populate over here on the side for you. Bluetooth, if you want to pair your phone to it, or if somebody wants to pair their device,
Yeah.
you can do everything through here.
Great.
You'll just tap that Bluetooth button, go to connections, and you want to make sure that discoverable is on.
Got it.
Now, if you went to look for it with your phone, yeah, you do it. It'll be under that other devices. Yep. Go ahead and choose that. Now,
Pull up some of your music.
you need this too.
The Fusion app, but you can still.
Price for a residential property. Billionaires Row is a home
And you
to
can-
8 ultra-luxury skyscrapers, each
Okay. So
Yeah.
that automatically.
Tim Dillon was the last one you listened to?
Yeah, I haven't finished it, but that was yesterday.
What were you gonna say? You
Oh,
need
he's on
one
all
other
the
thing,
time,
an
you know,
app.
He's got Tim Dillon.
There's
this is Joe
an
Rogan.
app
Yeah, I
you
know.
can use to control